Hi, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about why you need an accountant. A lot of the times we are perceived to be a cost to a company. And anything that we buy is a cost. Our groceries are a cost, our utility is a cost, our rent is a cost. But it's whether or not we're getting any back value from that and whether or not we're getting any benefit from that. Um, so when it comes to an accountant, for example, yes, we do the compliance, we do the tax returns, the VAT returns, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, there's very little, we can see that it's just something we've got to do, and we want to get as low as cost as we want to get that price for as low as possible. Um, However, there could be a setback on that. I'm going to tell you a little story. True story. About 15 years ago, when I was employed, when I was employed, I'd started a new job. I walked in, they had a finance department. I was the head of finance, I'd been recruited as the head of finance. After kind of getting introduced to everybody on the first day, sat down at the accounts department, opened up the computer, looked at the accounts and thought, oh my God. Something just told me something wasn't right. Now, the owner of the company thought everything was absolutely fine. Everybody thought everything was absolutely fine. But by the end of the day, what I had uncovered was just a series of things that hadn't been coded correctly, things that hadn't been reported correctly. And as it turned out, they were up to the rise in debt. They were making loss after loss, and they hadn't actually been paying. They were behind on their HMRC liabilities. So yeah, that wasn't a very kind of the best start to a new job for me or them. However, and certainly for the next 6 months, 3 to 6 months, it got very, very messy. We had HMRC at the door. The business owner themselves actually had a heart attack. Thankfully, it was just a kind of warning, but just for the stress of all. And the bank were on our back like you wouldn't believe, quite rightly so. Same with HMRC. However, through certain processes, through looking at certain things, we and applying certain strategies, we did some cost cutting, yes, but we also looked at profitability, customer profitability, service profitability. We looked at all sorts of things, and after 3 years, the business was actually sold. So, a bit of a success story. But yeah, 3 years prior, it definitely was not looking good. And as I say, it wasn't a pleasant journey, but it was a journey that the company took, and it was a success story. But that only came about, I believe, because we were able to spot it. If that had gone on for much longer, it could have got a lot worse. The company could have got shut down. We had to make one out of, I think it was about 50 staff members. We had to make one role had to be was made redundant. Equally, the others were all kept. The alternative version of that story was every single one of them lost their job. And also, with all the stress and everything, the individual who did have the heart attack, it could have gone the wrong way. They might not have survived it. So yeah, it's a horrible story. I don't actually like talking about it very much, but somebody actually encouraged me to talk about it and keep talking about it. To just emphasize the importance of having an accountant that helps you, one that a management accountant, chartered management accountant, qualified accountant. There's a lot of accountants out there that aren't qualified, and in actual fact, that was the whole point of this story. Was that the person that was in there before me, essentially, they weren't a qualified accountant. It was just, and in fact at one point actually we actually thought there had been fraud. We looked to see if anything had gone weird, but it was just pure incompetence that had got them into that stage, and a lack of accurate reporting. And as I say, data in, data out. The data out is only as good as the data in, and if the data in is wrong, then your data out is wrong too. Anyway, on that cheery note, but yeah, just make sure you're getting the right reports, make sure you're seeing your accountant, make sure you're meeting your accountant and you're getting that value. Don't see your accountant as a cost, see them as what they can give you, what they can get, what information they can give you to help you grow your business. You know, we have about, you know, us as accountants, qualified accountants, we have so much to offer businesses, but when we're seen as a cost, we get restricted and then we are unable to help you, and then it's just a vicious cycle. Whereas if you can see us as a benefit, we can help you. We can do so much for you, we really can. Anyway, take care.